This is in the name of Deputy Thomas P. Broughan.
Less can. Well, Minister, we obviously had the bad news in late February of the possible loss of 160 jobs in Coolock, Rathmore and Tala, and I just wondered what progress. We haven't had any updates since around midsummer, and you'd set up, I understand, the interagency group led by EI, and what progress has been made on this, and whether or not the agency and the department has had any talks with 3G Capital, the ultimate owners of Kraft, Mondelez, Heinz. Thanks, Ken.
I have had discussions with Mondelez at senior executive level, and the company has committed clearly to me that it will invest in the operation here with the aim of achieving best-in-class production processes. Enterprise Ireland has also been in contact with the company on a continuous basis regarding the assistance it could provide for restructuring to minimise job losses. The workplace relations services of my department have also been actively engaged in this process. Labour court hearings between the company and the unions concerned took place on the 9th of October this year. The Labour Court recommendation for the production personnel represented by Unite and SIPTU is to continue the negotiation process with management in relation to headcount reduction, shift pattern changes, outsourcing and a 2-year pay deal over a 4-week period beginning on the 29th of October 2015. The management expect unions will ballot their members in the coming weeks to determine support for the proposed changes. The Labour Court's recommendation for the electricians represented by TWEU and the fitters represented by TWEU and Unite is for the Workplace Relations Commission to mediate between management and unions for a 4-week period beginning the 28th of October 2015. Both parties have engaged with the mediation process in the WRC. Immediately after the announcement by Mondelez, I established, as the Deputy has acknowledged, an interagency group to coordinate the response to the proposed job losses. The group, chaired by Enterprise Ireland, is seeking to secure alternative employment for Coolock, Tala and Rathmore, and to ensure that departing workers have access to the supports they need from state agencies for retraining, access to social welfare supports, access to advice on employment rights and access to advice and support for those workers who intend to start their own business. I understand that the site in Tala will cease production in April 2016, with the severance and exit packages agreed. The company has engaged Penna O'Shea, the career transition provider, to assist the workforce in planning their future. Enterprise Ireland has visited the Tala site and will share the plant specification and worker profile with its clients. The plant specification and worker profile has also been shared with IDA Ireland. The interagency group has obtained agreement from Solace E-College to offer any existing courses free of charge to all learners in Mondelez Tala. I've already directed Enterprise Ireland and IDA to step up their efforts to find alternative projects for the areas affected. I continue to monitor the situation very closely and have arranged to meet with the company representatives shortly.
Come out, Deputy Thomas P. Broughan.
Thanks, Minister, for that response. Just in relation to, I know detailed proposals, counter proposals were put forward 6-7 months ago by the SIPTU, Unite and TWEU trade unions, and indeed by the workforce themselves, who are obviously expert in this element of food production, and in relation to some of the key brands, for example, the twirl and the snack and so on, some of the brands that it was feared would be outsourced to Poland. So would you, and you say we're coming into a critical period, or we're in a critical period now in relation to these negotiations and the role of the Commission and so on, but is it a situation now, hopefully, that these jobs are being saved, that you will be able to save those jobs? What response have you got? We know that the ultimate mother group of this company, 3G Capital, which I think has a Brazilian principal down in Rio de Janeiro, and which has assembled this huge food combine, has a very bad track record, in taking over companies and devastating them, the workforces, and taking out value and leaving companies. I mean, have you actually made contact with 3G? And there was a proposal that there was a word that there was an 11.7 million investment programme for Coolock and Rathmore, and I mean, has any of that been seen? And as you know, Minister, this final point, this is against the background where the two exchanges, or the two employment offices in our own constituency, Cadbury and Coolock, we still have over 8,000 people unemployed, and there's still great anxiety and worry, as you know, in the broader Coolock area, that we could have further job losses here.
Thank you. I'll come back to the Deputy Minister.
The There is indeed an investment programme which the company is committed, but it is requires a restructuring of their operations, and their intention is to achieve, state-of-the-art production lines in Coolock. There were counter-proposals, and Enterprise Ireland supported the workers in furnishing those counter-proposals. The situation now is that they have entered into the detailed negotiations that I outlined in terms of the restructuring proposals that the company is seeking, and those are ongoing, with both the Labour Court and the Workplace Relations Commission playing a role to seek to find solutions. As I indicated, Enterprise Ireland will also support the company. They do have programmes such as lean manufacturing programmes and other programmes which can allow a company successfully achieve the competitiveness it needs. Unfortunately, this is a situation where the company has indicated that there is restructuring needed to be competitive in their markets, and we're seeking to work with that and minimise the job losses. And I share the Deputy's concern that we need to minimise the job losses. But I would point out that Dublin has been enjoying a recovery, and while there are some companies with difficulties which we deal with, it's a fight every day, but also there are companies who are growing strongly, and that's something that we work to achieve as well.
Thomas P. Broughan.
Yeah, well, Minister, I mean, your website, the hashtag allaboutjobs.ie, it's very notable that you trumpet, when new jobs arrive, but you tell us nothing about job losses when we have serious job losses. And of course, your overall job figures, you mentioned 126,000, way below the total level of employment in, say, late 2007, early 2008. You're still a long way off that mark. But could I say, would you be hopeful then, from the initiatives that have been taken by the interagency group, that these jobs can be protected? I mean, that's the key desire of our constituents and their families, as you know, that these jobs will be protected. And what other assistance can you give to ensure that the promised investment in the plants will happen, as soon as possible, and that we could look forward to a positive future? Has your department finally have you done anything in relation to the protection of iconic Irish brands, of branded products, given the kind of attack, if you like, that's been developed on branded products over recent times, and the difficulty of maintaining clear brands in the food area? I think all Irish food products are under this, from the German multiples and other companies, under this kind of threat.
I can assure the Deputy that much of the work of my department is focusing on companies who need to restructure to protect jobs, and both IDA and Enterprise Ireland have transformation programmes to help companies do that, and they have been successful. Job losses in the IDA and Enterprise Ireland companies are at the lowest level for years and years, the lowest level in a decade. So we are succeeding in managing companies. In this particular case, as you know, the company has indicated that there will be job losses, but what we're working is to ensure that there will be as few as possible, and that the jobs that remain will be on a secure footing, with the investment necessary and the efficiencies there, with the modern production lines that can give them a secure future. So that's what we're working to achieve. And there's continuing negotiations, as I indicated there, with that aim in mind.